Hey there, it's Jennifer from the blog The Everyday Farmhouse. Today we're going to be going through the process of making liquid soap. So if you've followed along for a while, you know I do a lot of soap recipes, and most of them have been bar soap, cold processed bar soap. And I've done one other liquid soap recipe, and that was a liquid dish soap. And this one is going to be the same process as the liquid dish soap that we made, meaning you're going to be doing a hot process using a crock pot, and you're also going to be using potassium hydroxide. So this is different from what you use with cold processed soap. For that, you use sodium hydroxide. This is a different type of lye, and so this is what you need for liquid soap making. The difference between hot process and cold process is that you're cooking the soap, and so what happens is you get to use the product sooner. So if you're using hot process for a bar of soap, you kind of get a more rustic looking bar. Maybe it doesn't look as pretty or as smooth as a cold process bar. But for liquid soap, the hot process works really well. Another difference with liquid soap is that you are not going to be able to super fat this to 5 or 8% like you would a bar soap. And the reason for that is any extra fat that's in there would make the soap cloudy. You don't really want cloudy or slimy feeling soap. So this, you want it to be clear, and even though this, I used olive oil, so it's got this tint to it that looks like olive oil. It's still clear. When we do the clarity test, which I'll show you how to do that, you'll see that it actually is clear and that you can see through the soap. Another difference between this one and the liquid dish soap that we made is that I'm going to be adding vegetable glycerin to this soap. One of my complaints, I've made other liquid hand soap before, and that's what I use this for, is just hand soap at the kitchen and in our bathrooms. You could probably use this as a body wash. I don't know about shampoo. I haven't tried it for that. You might want to change out the oils if you're making it for using as body wash or shampoo, but I added vegetable glycerin. It kind of helps the soap to, it has like a nice slick feel to it. My husband noticed it. He's like, something's different with this. And my daughter really liked the slick feeling. My husband wasn't so sure. So anyway, it gives it a slick feeling. I was hoping that it would maybe not clog in the pump so badly. If you made the liquid dish soap, you know that over time it'll get a little bit that hardens on the end of your pump, and I was hoping that that would help eliminate that. And so far, I think it's worked really well. So I'm going to take you step by step through this hot process liquid soap recipe and show you everything that you need to do all the way through. And I think that's all we need to know. So I'll take you to the kitchen and we'll get started.
Okay, to start, you're going to want to gather your ingredients and tools that you need. I don't have the crock pot or the glasses pictured, but you need a crock pot, safety glasses, an immersion blender, rubber gloves, distilled water, potassium hydroxide, coconut oil, olive oil, and then we're going to use vegetable glycerin in place of some of the water in this recipe. So to get started, use a digital scale, tear it out, and measure out each of your oils. Turn the crock pot on high as you heat the oils, and honestly you could probably melt the oils to get this process going faster. Melt them in a microwave or on the stove and then pour them into the crock pot, as that would speed up the process a bit, or at least put the lid on your crock pot to help the process to go faster. As I said, you need potassium hydroxide, and so you're going to measure that the same way you measured the oils, by putting a glass or something on your digital scale, tear it out, and then make sure your area is well ventilated. Of course, you want to have some airflow. I just had a window behind me open. Measure out the distilled water. Now I go ahead and mix the potassium hydroxide with only the water. I believe you can do it with the vegetable glycerin too. I just add the glycerin later. So I just prefer to only mix it with the water to start. And so essentially we're splitting half of the liquid between the water and the vegetable glycerin. The glycerin acts as a humectant, which pulls moisture to your skin. It also speeds up the process of getting this to trace. Essentially, you'll find that it's a lot less blending than, say, that liquid dish soap recipe that we made. This thickens up a lot faster. So you're going to always pour the lye into the water mixture, get that mixed up really well. The oils really do need to be up to 165 degrees. And so I'm going to speed this process up a bit here in a minute so that my lye doesn't get too cool. So it's up to 165 degrees. And I always make sure my lye is about the same. So I start mixing with the immersion blender, and then I pour the lye into the oils, mixing. And this is going to go through several stages. You'll see it's going to begin to thicken, and it's going to go through a stage that I'm adding the vegetable glycerin now. And you want to make sure you get every bit of that out of there. I really like adding this to the liquid soap. I like what it does. I like how the process speeds up. I like the way the soap feels really nice on your hands afterwards. So I'm going to show you each stage as it thickens. And the first stage, I believe, looks just a little bit like applesauce. Just kind of, it looks grainy a bit, but it's definitely getting thick. And so you just want to keep mixing from there. And this process might take 5-10 minutes to get it nice and thick. You're going for the consistency of instant mashed potatoes here is what you want. Then we're going to put the lid on it, and we're going to let this cook for, I don't know, maybe an hour or so, 30 minutes to an hour. You're going to want to come back, and you're going to want this to look similar to petroleum jelly when it gets on the spatula, when you lift it up. So you're looking at it now, it kind of, you can see the glossiness, but it's got some white to it. But as you stir it, and I think that's just the heat, you want to have your crock pot on low while you're doing this. And so I'm going to show this to you close. You can see that it looks a bit like petroleum jelly. That's what you want. When you get to that stage, then you can do a few things to test it and make sure it's ready, to make sure it's saponified. You can buy these pH strips. I had some from our pool. I don't know that this is 100% necessary, but if you want to be sure that this is ready, then you can check the pH, and it needs to be within a range of like 6 to 10 to be safe. This is perfect. It's at 7.5. The other test that you can do to make sure it's done is called the clarity test. So that's taking some hot water and mixing a little bit of the soap paste in with the hot water until it dissolves. And then you're going to check to see if it's clear, if you can see through it. I'll show you a better image of that here in a second once I get the bubbles away, but you can see that you can read those words underneath. The soap has dissolved completely in the water, and it's clear. So now I'm going to take half of this and just store it for later. And I actually ended up using this already, but you can store it as soap paste, which is what you've done here. You've made a soap paste, and the rest you're going to dissolve with water. So you can choose whether you take, half of it out or keep it all together. In this case, I took half of it out to store for later use. And then you take about a quart or, a liter of water, 4 cups, however you want to look at it. It's not super, super important that it's exactly precise, but you're going to pour the water in. I'm always really cautious pouring cold water into a hot crock pot, so I kind of pour it on top of the soap paste and cool it down as I go. Stir it in, and then just put the lid on the crock pot. Again, you're keeping that on low. I found that mine on like the keep warm setting's not hot enough to dissolve it, so you'll be surprised at how quickly this dissolves. I mean, I want to say this was within 2 hours. You put it on, lid on, come back and check it and stir it from time to time. Make sure all those chunks get dissolved in there. And then once the chunks are dissolved, you have your liquid soap. Of course, it looks a bit runnier than regular, liquid dish soap that you would buy. I add my fragrance oil right before I bottle it. You'll notice as I squirt the fragrance oil in, there's some cloudiness, but that clears right up once it's mixed in. And then I just pour it into bottles that I have on hand that I've saved to reuse. Mason jars or whatever for storing it. It stores just fine once it's, dissolved and into liquid form. And so I just keep filling up my jars and then I store it for future use. It is a beautiful soap. I like the way it feels. I'm finding it doesn't clog in the dispenser as bad as other liquid soaps I've made. And of course, check the description for the full recipe. There's also a link to the full blog post on this, which also takes you step by step through photos and a written description. I did do the recipe this time in grams and ounces and percentages for everybody who has asked for those measurements. So hopefully you'll find this very helpful, and I hope this soap turns out really well for you and that you enjoy making it for your home and family. I really do think this is one of the times that making soap can actually save you money. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for following along.